Hello everyone and happy peaceful days. Peaceful days indeed. Rich, hello. Hi Dan, how are you? I'm very well. How are you? How's things going with the channel? Rebecca, hello, hello. How to become creative? That's a very good question. Tom, hello. How to become creative? My goodness, that is a, as Chris Doe would say, a loaded question. How to become creative? It's funny because when I think back to the beginning of my career, I remember going into work in my second job, which was for a small print and design company. So we had a real variety of clients. You know, one minute we were doing work for L'Oreal or Superdrug, the next minute we were doing flyers for John's Butcher down the road. It was a real kind of nice mix. And I specifically remember some days there would be that pressure to get a job done, to get onto the next job and then the next job. And, you know, sometimes the ideas just didn't come. There was that creative block. I'm sure you guys have experienced this as well. And, you know, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. You as much as you want to force it, you know, there's creative ideas, they're not happening. And it's one of those things I've not really appreciated, that as I've kind of, you know, I've been doing this for like 17 years now. And it's one of those things that is definitely less of an issue these days. So it's trying to like put myself in that mindset of being a relatively new designer again and think, how did I overcome that? I mean, these days, the best way to kind of get creative ideas is, just to be happy in yourself. Make sure, you know, you're happy generally in life. You feel good. You're getting plenty of sleep, good nutrition, exercise, water, all the kind of normal things. You know, you take care of those things. That goes a long way to increasing your creativity. I learned this the hard way. You know, I used to be up all hours of the night, not drinking enough water, not eating good food, in a cheap 30-40 pound chair, which was not good for my back at all. I did not take care of myself very well, as much as I should have. And these days I'm taking much better care of myself, and I'm happier than ever. And what a surprise, my creativity and my ideas have just gone, you know, up through the roof. So I think there's definitely some kind of correlation there, even if I don't fully understand it from like a psychological point of view, but there's definitely some correlation with me taking better care of myself and my creativity and my energy, my want and my desire to create things. Thanks for being here, Dansky. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Mike, hello. Hey yo. Artonich, hello Dansky. Hope you're doing amazing. I am very good. And I'm even better now that we're all live. We get to hang out and design things. I'm good, thanks. Channel is slow, lol. Yeah, tell me about it. Like, it's one of those things. It never changes. You know, I might have a channel with a lot of subscribers, but it's one of those things. You're always going to be just looking. At least I am anyway. You know, I remember when I first started, I'd be looking for like 100 views on a video, and these days it's like, you know, you get a few thousand views on a video. To someone else, that seems a lot. But when you've been doing it as long as I have, it doesn't seem like a lot. And I'm sure if I had 1 million or 5 million subscribers, maybe 100,000 views wouldn't feel like a lot. So it's just one of those things that, you know, YouTube, yeah, it definitely takes work. Definitely takes a lot of work. And try not to get too obsessed with the analytics as well. I sometimes bury my head in that, and it ain't good. You need to focus on creating and less about obsessing over the numbers sometimes, I think. Love from India. Hello from India. I'm here in the UK, where it's miserable, grey and rainy 1 minute, and then 5 seconds later it's bright sunshine. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Hi there, is speed art still considered content? Absolutely. Hello from Pakistan. Good advice. Yeah, hopefully it's helpful. Still grinding the road to 10k. Yeah, I feel like it definitely gets easier. At least, you know, from my perspective, when I was starting out YouTube, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. and I just kind of was messing around, really playing, teaching a bit here and there. And then once I started teaching, I think it took about a year to go from 1,600 subs to 100,000. And everyone's different. Some people take longer, some people blow up in months. You know, it's just one of those things. But you never know when a video is going to blow up and get a lot of traction. And then it just creates this kind of snowball effect and things start kind of ramping up. But I feel like when you cross the sort of 10K milestone, that's the hardest bit, I think, is actually the 1,000K and the 10K. And then as you build more momentum, I think it's something that can get easier. And then all you need is 1 or 2 videos to just, you know, you get lucky with them and boom, you're away. Hey, hope I'm not too late. Now we're just getting started. I'm just rambling on at the moment. I've got many different drinks here. We've got coffee. We've got some CBD infused sparkling water. If we send the pictures we have drawn, you can turn them into perfection with Adobe Photoshop. Well, would you consider such content? Possibly. I don't know about turning them into perfection. I'm not Benny after all. He's the master of doing that kind of thing, taking drawings and, as he would say, realistifying it. But hey, it would be fun. It would be a lot of fun. I've been looking at old propaganda posters. Really? Interesting. Let me just scroll up. There we go. Rebecca says, great question. I struggle transferring traditional art into digital art. Yeah, when you say transferring, do you mean moving from one to the other or combining the two? Well, I guess it's the same thing really, isn't it? Do you mean kind of like doing the line work first, you know, pencil and paper, and then doing the effects and everything else digitally? Is that what you mean by that? Can you create good vector images in Photoshop, or is Illustrator the way to go? Illustrator, all the way, definitely. You can create vector shapes. So if I just kind of grab this rectangle tool here, you do have a bunch of shapes, and as long as you've got shape checked up here, so if you have path, it will just create a path. You won't be able to see it. It will be a construction made out of anchor points. And pixels will be like a raster graphic. But if you have shape checked and I draw this shape, this will be a vector shape. So I can scale this. I can adjust the corner radius. I've got lots of appearance effects and things I can change in the properties panel. And kind of like Illustrator, you know, you've got your move tool here in Photoshop, but you do actually have a selection tool down here. And this selection tool can be used to manipulate vector graphics. And just like Illustrator, we have a direct selection tool as well. So, you know, if you're an Illustrator user, direct selection tool will feel very familiar. I'm not entirely sure what this is. A very, don't really know what that is. We'll see where this goes, all in the name of creativity. But my point was that, yeah, we do actually have a direct selection tool and a main selection tool, just like Illustrator. So you can produce some vector graphics in Photoshop. You know, same with the pen tool. You can choose path or shape. But for me, like, I just find Illustrator much easier. And with the pen tool, I don't draw shapes in Photoshop. I just don't, you know. As you can see, I've got this layer selected, so it's adding it to that shape layer. But if I just make a new layer, it will draw a path. So it's not actually drawing anything physical that you can export. But I use the pen tool primarily to make selections in Photoshop. So just for making those selections, so from the path panel there, Command or Control, click on the work path, and then boom, you've got a selection. And the reason I don't do any pen tool stuff in Photoshop is because Illustrator has like the pen tool, the pencil tool, the smooth tool. It's got all of these drawing tools that enable kind of, basically when I mess up with the pen tool, I've got a suite of other tools that can help me correct that path, smooth it out, get the curves looking nice, and Photoshop just doesn't have that. In Illustrator and Photoshop, they do play nice. You know, you can copy from Illustrator to Photoshop, and then you can open up your vector that you made in Illustrator from Photoshop, and it will open it back up in Illustrator where you can make changes, and then you can save it and it'll update that back in Photoshop. So the two bits of software, they do play nicely together. I have the pictures we drew for this, but I can't convert it to digital. Have you tried using image trace in Illustrator? Elijah Graphics. Hey, Dansky. Elijah. Great name. That's the name of my youngest son. Eli normally, but Elijah when he's been a bit naughty. But welcome to the stream. Can you give some advice about clients? How to start a career as a freelance graphic designer? How to get clients? Right, so I'll be honest, I haven't worked with clients since late 2017 because I just got fed up of silly feedback and chasing late invoices. And I wanted to kind of go the teaching route anyway. But the way that I kind of built my business as a freelance designer was I started freelancing really early in my career, and I had a few kind of clients. One was actually my cousin, and she put a lot of work my way. And so I was working my day job, and then in the evenings and at weekends, I was working on freelance projects, essentially building my own one-person design agency. And I did that for quite a few years, really. But the good thing was, as I did that more and more, I built up my own little roster of clients, and I got a lot of work through a freelancing platform called peopleperhour.com. And I made sure that every client that I got, they had a 5-star experience. I was super polite, super helpful. I kind of went out of my way to over deliver. And, I've got 99 projects on record. I didn't get that 100th, but I've got 99 on record. Every single one, 5 out of 5 stars. Because I have a flawless record on that platform, what that did is it boosted my profile really, really high. So I was in like the top group of designers. I can't remember what it was called. Top Cert or something. Basically the top certified designers on the platform. And I think I might have got into the top 10 at one point. I can't remember. But because I did that, I then stopped having to pitch for jobs, and then people approached me on the platform with work. And basically what happened, long story short, is that I got a bunch of clients. One of them became pretty regular. So when I decided to quit my full-time job, I kind of had a smoother transition financially, into going completely freelance. And I built up a little bit of a safety blanket. So it wasn't like, oh crap, I don't have an income anymore. And that made life a lot easier. And then, just kind of one thing went to the other, really. Just it sort of got more and more clients. I got quite a lot of them through People Per Hour. And I know some people have mixed feelings on those freelancing platforms. And I can't, there's pros and cons to a lot of it. Regardless of what people think, that is the reality of how I got to where I got to. And then, like I say, late 2017, I packed it all in to focus on teaching you guys, because teaching is, for me, much more fun. Are you welcome, Tom? Hopefully that was helpful. How to use gradients in Photoshop as an Illustrator user. Well, Photoshop has got a new gradient feature, which I hope Illustrator gets, because it's so much better. So what you can do is down here in the bottom right corner, if you can see that, you can click this and you can add a gradient this way. Or what you can do is grab the gradient tool on the left. If you can't see it, just click and hold. It might be hiding under your paint bucket tool. And this was overdue, right? Let's be honest, this was overdue, and Illustrator needs the same treatment because the gradient tool is clunky as heck. So we can just click and drag. It's so simple. It's so simple. And if you want me to show you the gradient tool in Illustrator, just let me know in the chat. It's a nightmare to use. But once you get used to it, it's fine. But it just definitely needs a kind of revised implementation, I think. Dansky, if a client asked you to make a logo and he gave you no direction at all, how would you go about it? Does it depend on the name of the brand? If they asked me for a logo with no direction, that is a red flag for me, and I would decline the project. Or I would say, in terms of creative direction, Yeah, I guess in terms of creative direction, I guess they would come to me and they would be looking for me to give, some guidance on that. But it would also be up to them as the person who knows their own business to kind of, help me as the designer understand their business. Because depending on what kind of industry they're in, they're going to understand that side of it and their own business, their industry much more than I am. So it's kind of like a fusion of the two things. And the questions I would ask would be business related. So what is the purpose of this rebrand would be my first question. Why are we doing this? What is the goal? Usually it's kind of, to reinvent the brand's image, their perception, make more money, generate sales, that kind of thing. So I would understand what the business objectives and those things are. What is the motivation behind having a logo, or if we're rebranding something, what is the fundamental purpose before we even get to the design side of things? If they can't give you that, then yeah, definitely walk away. That's a hard no. But you'll find some clients want to be more involved and some want to be less involved. So some people do have an idea of what they want already in their head. That that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing as well. It's when people are open to other ideas, when they're not open to other ideas. Like I remember once I had a client who said, I don't like triangles. And it was just like, yeah, but what if I go and create a killer logo and it happens to be a triangle? That's a bit of a quandary, isn't it? So I didn't say that, but it was just like, yeah, you will get people say silly things like that. And, my advice, and this is kind of what I learned from Chris Do from the Future YouTube channel. He always brings it back to business, the business. What is the business goals? And then it kind of pulls the conversation away from the finicky little details about this curve and this pixel, and it recenters the conversation on, okay, but let's look at the bigger picture. What is the business objective of this? Do you know what I mean? So hopefully that's helpful anyway. Dansky, do you work for yourself or full-time YouTube? I've been full-time YouTube since 2017. So kind of yes to both, really. I do sort of kind of work for myself, but then I guess I kind of work for you guys as well in some way. Design reviews Tuesday, yes. Thank you so much for the advice. Must try people per hour. Much appreciate that. You're welcome. Rebecca, a tip I learned from your tutorials was speaking's hard sometimes. How to better control the image trace threshold, I think it's called. That's helped with sketches I've recently transferred. Yes, Image Trace also had a redesign of their panel quite recently, actually. And so if you have any line work, it's a great way to kind of take that and digitally trace it in Illustrator so you get a vector version. Anyway, back to the gradient tool. So yeah, you just click and drag with this and you can just freely move this around at either end. Oh, and it's so smooth. Oh, it's just beautiful. I love it. Presets. Photoshop comes with a lot of them. Lots of delicious colors. These are magnificent, some of these. Oh, look at this. Blue to purple is bloody beautiful. And we could bring this in here. So I can control this from the slider on the right, or I can do this directly on the slider here. So you see the plus sign, click, and it adds a color. Yeesh, that's not very nice. And then I can drag this off the slider and it removes the color swatch. So you can get pretty creative with this. And if I double click on one of the swatches here, oh, it's loaded that off screen. There we go, there's my panel. So let's go and add a nice, beautiful turquoisey teal. Oh, look at that. Now, I can reverse this very quickly by checking this box here. And it puts the this beautiful color in the top right corner. And style. So this is a linear gradient. It goes from left to right, top to bottom, essentially in a straight line. We've got radial, which if I zoom out, you can see now works in a circle. So we've got purple in the center. And of course, then I can flip that round again. Have the lighter color in the center. Whoa. And then scale this down. And there you go. To move it, I want to click on the slider somewhere. So I could reposition that in the center and scale it down. And you scale it just by clicking on that outer edge, and you can hold shift as well. What does this do? Ah, there we go. Whoa, that's cool. Yeah, so this kind of changes the, oh, I don't know what it's called. Elliptical something, ellipticalness, we'll go with that. It's got a word, I think, but you can kind of basically squish it and distort it out of being a circle. These ones here are, I forget, the tooltips aren't popping up. Angle, I think. I mean, this in itself can create quite a cool look, actually, if you wanted to have like a really abstract style background. And then you got this one here, and the star, which I don't think I've ever used in my life. For me, it's mostly linear and radial gradients personally. But you can see, yeah, it's so easy to just whoosh, move that around. And you can control the opacity here as well. There we go. So I could make one end of the gradient transparent. And in Illustrator, you've got opacity and colors all on the same slider. But I guess, you know, in Photoshop, you've got it on two sliders. It seems a bit weird. But I suppose the reasoning behind that is I can now adjust the opacity of certain parts independently of the colors as well. So I don't know, not something I've ever done, but I guess some people might have a use for that. Method, yeah, I don't think I've really ever changed that. Solid. Ooh, noise. Whoa! I've never done this before. Wow, that is disgusting. Let's go back to that, much nicer. Also, you can adjust the position of the swatch on the slider, and we have these little squares or diamonds. They control the midpoint as well. So if I move this closer, you can see we get a much harder edge. But if you keep it in the center point between the swatches, you're going to get the smoothest blend from one color to another. But you might want more purple, or you might want less purple. So those enable you to control that midpoint. Alok, hello. I've had some bizarre client briefs in the past and it had been really hard to convert. It's just one of those things you're going to get. I think if you're going to deal with people, you're going to get a little bit of bizarre peculiarities that do inevitably pop up. Image Trace does a pretty good job for the most part, particularly with sketches brought in. Yeah, it does. I've not got a sketch on me. Can I find a sketch? I feel like because we're talking about Image Trace, it'd be worth just demonstrating it a little bit. I'll see if I can grab one from Unsplash. Oh, a dog. Oh, someone's done a dog. Let's do the dog. That'd be nice. We'll do that. Where are you, dog? Yeah, so when I'm doing image trace in Illustrator, I can't talk today. I will always bring it into Photoshop first. Just because you can see here we've got the texture of the paper in the background. You know, we've got a lot of mid-tones. You know, we've got some dark areas, but we've got a lot of grey, essentially. And I can prep this a lot more for Illustrator, which will make Illustrator produce a better trace. So what I'm going to do is add a levels adjustment layer. So you can do that in the bottom right corner of the layers panel. And what I want to do here is I want to first start by increasing the highlights. So I'm going to move this up. And you'll see if I go too far, it will chip away some of that detail of the dog. So we don't want to do that. But by bringing it up enough, you can see a lot of that paper texture that I definitely don't want in the trace, that is going to go. And then I can bring the shadows in as well. And what this is ultimately doing is creating more contrast. So I can kind of fine tune this. Something like this. And I can adjust that midpoint as well. But really what you want to do is the further you squish, right, the shadows here and the the shadows and the highlights together, the more grey you're going to reduce. And if you are doing a black and white trace, or you want to do a black and white trace, you want as little gray as possible. So if we can eliminate all the gray and just have the black and white in Photoshop, by the time we get this into Illustrator, it's going to have an easier time doing that trace. I think it will struggle with a lot of these smaller details. So this is a very kind of sketched design, or drawing rather. But if you've got clean line work, it's going to, it will have an easier time. In fact, there are a few other techniques like this for prepping in Photoshop for live trace. I've got like a whole massive lesson on it in my full course, but I actually can't remember them now. I'd have to go and watch the videos. It's something to do with filters in the filter gallery. There's a few filters that you can kind of play around with, and it just kind of helps you fine-tune that contrast. But if you are interested, there we go, segueing into the course shout out. There you go. If you'd like to learn everything I know about Adobe Illustrator, including live trace and everything else, there's a link to my full course. And if you sign up to my mailing list on the website, you get 15% off. Okay. All right. Shameless plug done. So you can see there we've increased the contrast quite a lot. I don't know how much of that detail I'm going to be able to save. Don't know. I could play around with the midtones and just try and bring some of it back in. Yeah, that might be as good as I'm going to get. But we can try that. I don't know if I can copy this actually. I might be able to copy merged and just whip this into Illustrator, but we'll give it a go. Benedict, hello, welcome. Dansky, please give us your brand design process. I haven't done work on a brand for a long time in terms of like branding. Something entirely from scratch. I haven't really done that for a long time, and it actually wasn't what I was really known for with a lot of my clients. Most of my clients were predominantly UI UX design, websites, apps, that kind of thing, and graphic design. I did do a bunch of logos, and I've done work on kind of branding, style guides, that kind of thing. But I can't remember if I even have done a ton of branding work. I think I must have done at some point, but it would have been so long ago that I can't actually remember it. It would be fun to do now. It really would be fun, but making videos and teaching kind of keeps me busy. So, right, what am I doing? Hey, dog is pasted in. Yeah, I'll be honest, there's definitely other people who kind of, I think, still have their hand in the game of working for clients and, designing a brand from scratch in its entirety that would just they'd be much better placed to kind of answer questions around designing a full brand and that process from scratch. One person that comes to mind is Abby Connick. So if you've not checked out Abby on YouTube, I think that's how you spell it. Actually, I'll grab her channel because she's got a really good channel. She does a lot of design and branding stuff. Let's have a look. Where are you? Where are you, Abby? There you go. Yes, if you want to learn about branding process, this is who you want to check out. Reese says, she's a champ. She is a champ. Yo! Well, I'm late. I think it's better to trace sketches with the pen tool than image trace. Oh, it depends. It really depends. Sometimes on projects, you can actually get quite a decent result with a quick image trace. It's one of those things that I don't really ever use now. Because I don't work on loads of projects in the same way. But back when I was working for that small design company I mentioned earlier, I had to turn around quite a lot of stuff quite quickly. So if someone had like a local butcher, let's say, and I needed an image of a pig or a storefront or something, and they had a photo of their old storefront from 1970 or something, let's say John Jones Butchers or whatever, I could whip that photo into Photoshop, make it black and white, give it a live trace, boom, it would look pretty decent. and it would almost look like, shrunk down small on a flyer. It would look like an illustration. So it definitely does have its uses. Do you have a Photoshop course? Not yet, but there will be one coming. I've got lots more courses planned. I've got so much stuff in my head, and my goal over the next year and a bit is to try and, really establish myself as an educator and create more products that enable me to get all of the stuff out of here into courses and things that can actually teach people. Because I've spent a lot of time learning over the years. I'm obsessed with learning. And there's only so much I can teach making YouTube videos, so I just need to kind of really, do a better job of making more courses and teaching more, because I know a lot of stuff and it's just extracting it from my head and putting it into products that will help people, but that will also help me make a living as well. So, that's the goal. Hello, loved your realistic brand logo video. Will you do more of them in the future? Oh, that one. Oh, that performed terribly. Making the 3 logos realistic. Oh, I mean, I loved making that, designing it, the video editing, and it just absolutely bombed. I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll pick up in future, but that took me 3 weeks to make that video, and it absolutely crashed, and it was like, oh, what? I don't know. Maybe it'll pick up in future. Maybe I need to just tweak the thumbnail or something. But it didn't do well. Which was a shame, because I really enjoyed doing that. Hey Dansky, how's it going? Could you show me how to make the logo 3D by adding gradient colors? I'm having some trouble grasping the concept, and I even wanted to know when to use gradient logos. Yeah, cool. Oh, I feel like today's going to be live tracing gradients. Right. Cute dog. So let's have a look. Let's take a look at this new panel. Where is it? Image trace. As I mentioned, this panel has recently had a redesign. And we've got a few more settings now, like ignore color as well. Before we could only ignore white. Now we can choose to ignore a certain color. And we've got some presets. Black and white logo, sketched art, makes sense. Let's go with that. Go away. And let's have a little look. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Obviously with this, if you zoom in, you're going to see all these imperfections on a sketch thing. But let's be honest, if you zoom out like this, it doesn't look too bad, and I could combine other images and I could make this into a really cute kind of sketch. And this is vector now, so I could scale this to any size, and it wouldn't lose quality. That's what a vector graphic is a graphic that can be scaled to any size. Jesse, keep it up, Dansky. The design community appreciates you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5 and the beautiful message. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Oh, can I heart that? Oh, yeah, I can heart it. There we go. Oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. Mike says, psh, even my kid liked that vid. Yeah, mine too. My boy, my eldest Leo, he kept asking to watch it. And I was like, wow, even my 7-year-old loves it. This one's going to be an absolute banger. But nope, it wasn't meant to be. Reese says, love chipping away at your course. Well worth the dollars. Oh, thank you, Reese. I appreciate that. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. I mean, I think it's a good course. I know I would say that, but it's about 6 hours long, and it basically just downloads everything I know about Illustrator into 6 hours worth of video. So it's the most efficient way I could think of to teach Illustrator in its entirety. That's a shame. I learned quite a lot from that one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not the end. Maybe I could find a quicker way to produce it. It's just it took me 3 weeks. It's just unfortunate it took 3 weeks. I was obsessing over the production of the video and finessing it probably far too much. But hey ho. Oh, Reese, your kid liked it as well. Excellent. I made a video that is suitable for children. Fantastic. Much love from Romania. Thank you very much. You're biased, lol. Shh, be quiet, Reese. Anyway, puppy. Quick, look at the puppy. So I can choose this eyedropper tool here, and I can ignore the white. If you have a different background color, you can pick that now, which is a nice addition. But yeah, that's kind of cute. Now at the moment, this is still an image traced object, so I can edit this. I can do all sorts of other things to it, play around with settings. Let's try fiddling with the noise a little bit. You can see there it loses a lot of clarity, so let's bring that down. And I think the trace will be much more accurate to the original. Yeah, so it brings back in a lot more of that detail by bringing that down. And we can actually bump up the paths as well, which I think will introduce more paths, which will make it more complex but more accurate. And the threshold as well. So we brought it into Illustrator from Photoshop with a certain amount of blacks and whites, but we can actually control that even more and introduce more black or more white. Of course, if I were to kind of crank this up too much, I don't know what it will do here, but you can sometimes lose. There you go. So you lose a lot of detail around the eyes and the mouth. Essentially, the dog's expression becomes much harder to see. So this whole thing is really kind of a balance. You want to... Oh, there you go. I've brought that quite low, but you can still see, the dog's eye and mouth. So, yeah, with a lot of animals, and especially with people, you can add or remove too much detail, and it can interrupt the facial features. But I think that's a pretty nice balance. And then when you're finished with that, object and expand, because if I wanted to change this to a different color, I'd have to go and do this first. So if I expand this, as you can see, this now becomes a regular shape with a lot of geometry. And depending on your computer, well, it might melt, because this is an insane amount of anchor points. So just before you do this, save your work, and give your computer a little pat on the head, and just give it a bit of encouragement, just so it doesn't blow up. But yeah, now if you select this now and you don't have a color here, let's say you've got a question mark, that's because perhaps you didn't ignore a color. What that does, ignoring the color, is it actually essentially introduces transparency into the design. If you don't ignore color, what it will do is it will bring in white as well. So you'll have white and black in the design when you expand it. So this will be a question mark. If it is a question mark here, what we need to do is we need to select the black. So my advice to do this is to go to the Magic Wand tool and click on your design anywhere where you can sample the black. Once you've got just the black sampled, that will be indicated by the color picker, the fill color here. Go to edit and cut. This will copy it, all the black, and it will leave behind everything else. And you can then just do a select all. Just drag over your entire canvas. And then any anchor points, any shapes, anything that gets selected, just delete it. And then what you're going to do is just paste that back in. And it will paste in just the black on its own. And then you'll be able to assign a color to it. And it shouldn't have a question mark anymore. And sometimes you'll be able to click Unite in the Pathfinder panel, and it will merge all the black together. Let's see if it plays ball. There we go. So this is all now a complete shape. And if I were to add a gradient to this, I don't know what will happen actually. It might add it to every single shape, which would... I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it. Puppy. I'm going to save this just in case something goes wrong. So let's try and add a gradient and see what happens. Okay, no, that's fine. Oh no, look, yeah, so it has. I thought that would blow up my computer, but no, we're all good. So it's added that gradient to every single shape, which is annoying. And we don't want that. Let's do it with the black and white one, actually, so it's a bit better. There we go. So you don't want that, right? We've united everything together, but because all of these shapes, these small shapes, they're not actually touching, Illustrator will treat them as a single shape. So if I try and edit the gradient, this is where it might blow up. It will load up a gradient slider for... I shouldn't have done that. It will load up a gradient slider for every single shape. What have I done? I've literally just... It's going to load up thousands of gradient sliders. I'm an idiot. Anyway, while that melts my computer, I'll catch up on the chat and we'll see if that... I've so crashed Illustrator. Oh, man. Dilshin, man, I forgot what today was. Almost missed the stream entirely. Hello. Well done for not missing the stream. Yes, strong GPU needed. Although I still I don't know if this will be strong enough to handle this. That would crash my iMac. Yeah, I should have thought about this really, shouldn't I? F. Yeah, put F in the chat to pay respects to Illustrator. It's gone, hasn't it? There's no chance it's going to load that. I'd be curious to see what it looks like, 10,000 gradient sliders. Oppenheimer right there. Make it a compound shape that all elements will be united gradient. That's what I was going for. But I just tried to show you something that I definitely should not have tried to show you because it's now going to blow up Illustrator. Right, we're going to have to accept defeat. Let's close that down. I've nuked Illustrator. My apologies. But it's a good thing I saved it, right? Because now I can open it back up. Open the 3D panel and click inflate. I'm not falling for that one. Successfully recovered file. That's fine. That's fine because I was smart and I saved my file. So let's get Puppy back. There we go. The fella needs a name as well. Oh, hang on. I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. The puppy is back. Okay. Right. What did I do? Gradient. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, it's running through every single thing ever. And as Phil B said, go to Object, Compound Path, and Make. Now what this does is it will take all the shapes that aren't actually touching these 10,000 million shapes, and it will treat them as a single shape. And because Illustrator will treat it as a single shape, the gradient will run through the entire design. So there you go. I've got black over here, and now I should be able to load up the gradient slider now with the gradient tool, and it should just give me one slider. Oh, it doesn't like it though. It doesn't like it. And you can see what I mean here about this gradient slider compared to Photoshop's new one. It's real clunky. Oh, do you know what? This is a terrible idea. But yeah, that's how you apply a gradient to something. I'm gonna bring the dog back. But yeah, just wow. Oh, I am putting Illustrator through its paces today. I think we'll stick with black. But yeah, let me show you a simpler example. I'll show you a simpler one, much easier. So I've got a bunch of different shapes here, and if I just make these a compound path, the gradient then runs through all of them, and then I get one gradient slider that I can then rotate like that. So hopefully that made sense. Oh, there we go, puppy. I might put you on the thumbnail. That might increase the click-through rate, mightn't it? If I put a puppy on the thumbnail. There we go. Puppies and kittens. That's going to be the theme of the channel going forward, I think. Reese says, Benedict, that would certainly go boom. Yeah, absolutely. I see what you're trying to do there. Like I said, I ain't falling for that one. My computer would de-exist. Yeah, right. It is tempting, but I know it will just crash everything. It might even just kill the computer and the whole stream will go down then. And it will be all your fault. Oh, funny. Was I going to do something else? Gradient tool. I was going to show you the gradient tool. Right. See you later, puppy. Gradient tool. So in Illustrator, hopefully this has an update. Please, Adobe, give us the nice gradient tool that Photoshop has. But yeah, so with this one here, what you can do is you can go to Window, down to Gradient, and open up the Gradient panel here. So I've got mine docked on the right, or you can grab the gradient tool from the toolbar on the left. And again, we get the same kind of slider. We've got the points. I can move these around. We have fewer options in Photoshop. So we have linear, radial, and we have freeform. Freeform is where we can add points on the design and add colors to those points. I'll show you that one in a bit. But the reason this gradient slider is so clunky is I can't click and freely drag this around. You've got to look out for icons, and these icons can be quite fiddly to select. So this one here, if you can see that icon, it's like a square in a square. That adjusts the length of the gradient overall, that entire slider. Okay. Now, most of the time I don't touch that one. I don't need to. But then if I hover a bit to the right, you get a rotate tool. And this adjusts the rotation. So I can rotate this round. But you can only do it from this side. The other end, and if you click on the slider, you get the black arrow. You can move the slider around freely. And then you've got your plus as well that you can use to add colors. And you can double click on a swatch and add a color directly there, which is quite nice. So let's go and add a bunch of colors. There we go. We'll slap in that, and we'll maybe throw in a red. Sure, why not? There we go. Nice. And again, you can drag off to remove a color and adjust the midpoints as well of each one. So it's kind of similar. You will tend to get more banding in Illustrator because everything's vector, and banding is where you can see where one color or one shade graduates into another. So you'll get lots of lines sometimes. I don't know if you can see it. I can see it very slightly on my screen, but I don't know if you can see it on stream. Photoshop, there's tricks to get around having less banding, but typically a lot of Photoshop is raster based anyway, so it's not vector per se. You can create vector shapes and things in Photoshop, but generally, if I want a very realistic gradient or realism, I try and do it in Photoshop. But Illustrator, you can use gradients for all sorts of things, and for the most part, it will look fine. Just some colors might struggle to graduate from one to the other. Here I'm going from like blue to pink to red. Let's try and throw in a different color that's totally absolutely bonkers and see if I can demonstrate what I mean. Ugh, not very nice, is it? Oh, I don't know if it's going to show up on screen anyway. There's like banding around this bit here where the blue kind of meets that sludge color. That is disgusting. Let's go and put that back. But yeah, try creating a gradient going from black to pure white, and you'll see as the gradient gets to white, it kind of can struggle a bit. Oh yeah, there you go, black to white. You can see it. You tell me if you can see the banding there on screen. I can see it like all across the entire thing. What kind of machine do you use? I was using a what was it? A 2018 MacBook Pro up until recently, and I've very recently upgraded to a MacBook Pro M2 Pro, and it's the one with a 19-core GPU for any spec geeks in the chat. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love using Macs for all my work. I just find them a smoother experience than Windows working on Mac OS, and things just work most of the time. And I think they're better optimized as well. They definitely get better optimization on Mac OS as well. I prefer Figma's gradient tool. It's much more handy. I've got to be honest, Figma is a great bit of software. I came from Adobe XD. Figma was so intuitive. Everything was where I thought it would be. They were very smart to have a lot of keyboard shortcuts and keys for tools, the same as the Adobe stuff. So making that switch from XD to Figma was actually pretty easy. Yeah, very intuitive, very feature complete. I wish Illustrator would have their blur effects as well. Really nice blur features in Figma. Very, very easy to introduce that into a design. Do you have an Illustrator guide templates for creating logos? I don't, but I think I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure if you follow Satori Graphics, check out his website. I think this is it here, logodesignprocess.com. I think he has a logo design guide that he sells. Let me just throw that in the chat. Yeah, he definitely has some downloads and things you can purchase that are to do with logo design processes. I think he might have guides and templates. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, he would be the one to kind of be able to help you with that, I think. Expand the gradient and add a gradient to each individual band, and then your computer will explode surely. Lol. Why is everyone trying to get my computer completely nuked? Oh, so how did your day go, Dan? Yeah, it was great, but the chat got me to blow up my computer. Yeah, the background blur in Photoshop doesn't even do that. No. I mean, Photoshop's got some really great blur features, especially the blur gallery ones, a bit more recent, but it doesn't have like add a blur to an object like Figma does. Yeah. Wish it did. Thank you, sir. Oh, you're welcome. Hopefully it's helpful anyway. What's new in Illustrator beta? I still need to play around with that a bit more. I've been having a lot of fun with the Photoshop beta, and I'm going to jump into it in a minute because I can't resist. It's too funny. I've been working on my space alien snail. In fact, I'm going to show you. I want to show you my space alien snail because I'm very proud of it. Let me load it up. And yeah, I think I've probably said before, I tend to get a little bit sick of everything just being AI these days. AI this, AI that, AI toasters, AI whatever it is. Just everything is just bloody AI every 5 minutes. It's like, just leave me alone. I want to exist in the real world as well. However, that being said, I had a lot of fun with this. If you were on the stream last week, Space Alien Snail will not be, it will be very familiar to you. I created a Space Alien Snail. I had another go at a Space Alien Snail. And this was all from scratch. So I generated this cave background entirely from scratch. And then separated out the rocks. I cut those out and then blurred the background. So this added like a nice bit of depth. I then generated... How did I do this? So I generated... I think I did the... I've merged this together now. But I think I generated the shell and then the snail, like the slimy part. Then I generated a new snail head, so he was looking at the camera. Then I added some thorns to this bit, and then I added some thorns to the shell. And then I gave him these disgusting, creepy insect legs. And a lot of it, like, the lighting here, it matches. You've got the highlights on the top. The lighting is fine. But the thing I liked about this is this wasn't a finished product. Clearly all these legs here and everything, the lighting isn't correct for these ones. So I actually had to do a lot of my usual Photoshop work to get this looking really good. So I had to kind of play around with the exposure first, and I had to darken those legs, because they looked odd. Then I tweaked the color balance a bit to kind of darken those front legs and introduce a bit more of a kind of bluey hue. Then I did the same thing on the shell as well. So that's before, that's the after. What did I do here? Levels. Oh yeah, played around with them so they weren't so dark, because there's this light source coming from behind here where light's kind of creeping into the cave, so that had to sort of impact the legs as well. Again, adding more blue, more blue. Blue highlights to the legs. Just a bit more exposure correction. Blue somewhere. No idea what that does. That might be on the legs. I don't know actually. somewhere. Yeah. And then here I just added some kind of glows, some light glares coming from those light sources. And then the secret source, the camera raw filter, it just kind of helps those details kind of really pop. And yeah, that was the kind of finished thing. So it was really nice to generate the whole thing with AI, but that wasn't the end. It wasn't like, Midjourney is very clever, but it spits out a final design and it does all the creativity. Whereas this enabled me to create this weird space alien snail creature with very little skill except prompts. But then I did have to use skill and my Photoshop experience to get it from that to that, which I really did like. And that was a nice kind of middle ground for me. That was where I really enjoyed using AI. And it didn't just do the entire thing for me. It's almost like it used AI to generate the stock assets that I would normally use anyway. But I still had, and it added a bit of the lighting as well, for sure. But I still had to do a lot of the work to get it to the kind of finished product. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. It was a lot of fun. That's freaking cool, says Reese. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I've actually got a video. I'm working on a video at the moment, which is about generative fill, and it shows some really cool ways to use it. In fact, can I? I mean, I'll try it now. One of the most useful ways that I've encountered generative fill is actually not just the art stuff. This is cool. This is fun. It's a nice kind of middle ground for me. I don't like the stuff that, I enter the prompts and it generates the art. I have no emotional connection to that whatsoever. It just feels like a computer spat it out, because it did. And, I feel nothing for it. It's useful. It might be a thing, but this was a nice middle ground for me. But the really, really useful use of AI, that's terrible grammar, Dan, is if I just kind of paste this in here, and this is something I've been doing with my thumbnails as well. If I've got like a portrait design, obviously my YouTube thumbnail is landscape. Trying to edit that portrait design to fill the landscape thumbnail is a nightmare. It takes me so much time, and even then it's a bit kind of like you're fudging it for a thumbnail. But now in the beta, if I literally extend this to the side, and I haven't tested this, I've got no idea if this is going to work or not, but just extend it out, go to generative expand and generate, I'm pretty confident that it's going to successfully generate the rest of this cave. And it just makes taking a portrait graphic or a photo and turning it into a landscape version. I mean, look at that. You see? That is freaking cool. And that saves me a lot of time as a creator with thumbnails. And I get a few versions to choose from. There we go. He's on a little mountain in a cave. Oh, that one's not so good. But, I can generate again if I want more versions. I mean, that saves me so much time. So that has actually been legit useful. Do you remember the language you used for that cave? The lighting is great. Yeah, it took me a few times to get that one. I think the generative layers usually have the prompts that you used, but mine doesn't here for some reason. What did I type? So for this one, I typed cave in space. So I'll just type it in the chat. Cave in space. A lot of them were rubbish. They were just, they weren't useful at all. But then a few of them were absolute bangers, like this one. So yeah, really, really cool. Have you tried generative recolor? Yes, that is very good. That was in one of my latest videos, actually. The color Banana Barista. And what was it? Fluffy McWuffy Wuff Wuff. Excellent color. If you haven't checked it out, I recommend watching that video. Yeah, Mike, a lot of the caves were like, some of them were really rubbish. They looked like a photo of a cave you'd take on your phone, like a person would take. And then within that mix, some of them had these like amazing like tunnels and crevices and bright lights blasting through. It was so it took a few generations over and over again to get this one, but when I saw this one, I was like, that is the one. That is it right there. Sarah says, hey Dansky, could you show us how to create a dot disperse effect coming out from a word mark, like the word is dissolving or exploding from the edges and the pieces are spreading out? Not off the top of my head. It's kind of hard to understand exactly what you mean without a visual, but if it's what I think, what I would do is I would probably have to look up a bunch of techniques or tutorials to kind of understand certain pieces. Because there's a few, like particles, for example. Like I've created particles in Photoshop a lot, but it's not something I do on a daily basis. So I will typically forget the step-by-step technique to create these really cool particle effects. I've probably got tutorials on it somewhere as well, but it's the kind of thing that when I forget it, I actually end up looking it up. Sometimes I have to actually watch my own videos because there's all these specific techniques that there's all the steps involved. I don't remember them, but they're the kind of thing I use once in a blue moon. And when I do need them, I need to kind of go and watch some videos to remember how to do it. The biggest impact of AI on my life is I don't have to recreate shoulders on business headshots anymore. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think there's definitely there's a big gap between, the AI that's just generating all of the work, the art, and it's being posted as art. There's a big gap between that and AI actually being useful. And things like Photoshop, they've had a lot of AI powered features for a while now. Like the content aware fill and all this kind of stuff where it fills in and removes imperfections and stuff. And those are the features that I really like. The features that make my life easier, but they keep me in the driver's seat as the creative, and it still requires some skill and craft to doing it beyond just typing in prompts. Do you know what I mean? If I got $1 every time an artist used an adjustment layer, I would love that. God, I'd be very wealthy by now. You love adjustment layers. They're also great because they just give you a ton of flexibility because you can add them down here, add them down there in the bottom right, rather than up here, because these ones are destructive. They will permanently apply that effect to your image, whereas the ones in the bottom right corner, it adds them as a separate layer, and you can turn them off, on, edit them, whatever you like. It's a much better way of working. Mike says it's ridiculously helpful. I had a headshot sent to me yesterday where it was a head and almost no neck. Generative fill gave this person a perfect neck and a business shirt. Saved me like 30 minutes. Yeah, see those uses I think are really, really good. It does make your life easier, doesn't it? It really does. It makes things easier. But a lot of it doesn't impede too much on the craft or the creativity, It just saves a ton of time. You could go and find a stock image of a neck and a shirt and you could Photoshop it together and it would be fine. But yeah, it would take you 30 minutes. It would take you an hour, whatever. Same as me extending portrait images to landscape. It would take me a long, long, long time. It would take me hours to do this and to do it well. And now it does it in seconds. So, Mike, yes. No worries. Thanks anyway. We'll look up some tutorials. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Sorry I can't be more helpful. Oh, okay, I need to play around with the Illustrator beta. I've been spending a lot of time on Photoshop at the moment. Oh, I need to check that out then. Reese says, super cool to know how helpful it's becoming for time's sake. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a big time saver. Melissa, yay! Finally made it to a live one. Good to have you here. Welcome. Was a little hilarious having to ask the person if AI created their body parts appropriately. Oh, well, seeing as we're on the topic of AI, let's have a go at making something. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. See you later, puppy. Okay, what should we go with? Oh no, let's go landscape actually, because I'm on. Be much easier to see what's going on. There we go. Boom. Okay. Right, we're going to build a scene. We're going to do this together. So guys, throw out some suggestions for a scene. Where are we going to set this whole thing? And I'm going to see if Generative Fill can create an entire background for the scene. So we're just going to try and imagine something together. And I'll see if I can kind of do some a bit of Photoshop magic after to try and make it look half decent. Within the next 30 minutes, we'll see where we end up. So yeah, let's freestyle it. Let's just make it up as we go along. YouTube is telling you. YouTube actually reminded you this time. Mother's basement. Oh, I gotta try that. I've got no idea what that is gonna generate. Mother's. I reckon that's gonna violate YouTube's guidelines. I have a feeling it's not gonna like that. But let's see. Oh, we've got the jungle. Dark Candyland. I mean, that's not a basement, but okay, we've got a room. Yeah, fine. What else we got? I gotta do dark Candyland. A ninja village. What about a jungle ninja village? We can merge Sarah's and Bengali's suggestion. Oh, look at that. Dark Candyland. What? Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I got to generate some more. We've got to see some more of that. That's insane. It's like a lucky dip. That's what's fun about it. You don't know what you're going to get as well. Whoa, that is dark. I quite like that first one though. Right, let's try another one. What have we got? Jungle Ninja Village. Gotta jump early. Keep kicking butts, Dan, and have fun in AI world, everyone. Cheers for joining, Mike. I'll catch you later, man. Have a good weekend. Wow, I like those dark Candyland. It's such a crapshoot at times when it comes up with stuff like that. Oh, Ninja Village. Yeah, so that's more photorealistic. That's a bit more kind of artsy. I think I would probably lean more to wanting the photorealistic stuff a bit more than the stylized art, because the other stuff I generate will hopefully be more photorealistic as well. I don't want one bit photorealistic and the other bit in a particular art style. Dark Dansky land. Quinton! Hey everybody, just joining now. Loads of errands today. Okay, where are we? What are we doing now? That is a nice one. Bit stylized. I could blur it. But that's a nice composition there. I do like that. Unless we construct our own. Okay, right, hang on. Let's think about this. Let's try and construct our own ninja village, because I do like that one. Right, could I try jungle floor? So instead of just letting it do the whole thing, we could try and build the scene. See if we could do that. Miss anything fun? Oh, what have we been doing? Gradients. Oh, you missed puppies. Live traced puppies. More gradients. And we've ended up back on AI now. That's not helpful, is it? Okay. Jungle plain. Techno medieval land. I've got to try that. I've got no idea what that's going to spit out. Techno medieval land. Amazing. I mean, oh right, I typed plain. Oh, what an idiot. I was thinking like a surface plate. Oh god damn. Right. Techno medieval. I'll do it as separate words. Hey Dan, wishing you a great broadcast. Hey Floyda, welcome. Jungle clearing, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think some of this is finding the right prompts. So it sometimes does take a bit of trial and error. Whoa. That is very, very trippy. Okay, jungle, what did you write? Clearing. Yeah, it's just getting the right words, really. I just need like a jungle floor, like a blank canvas. Where have you gone? Getting there. Grass? Oh, what would you type? Grass landscape? Just give me a close-up. Oh, that is a nice grass image, though. I do like that. You can see what I mean about the more kind of photorealistic stuff. That is quite a delicious grass, actually. I want like a kind of wide angle. Maybe I should type that, actually. Wide angle shot. Cyber heaven. Cosmic heritage. Ooh. A mid-journey plugin would be great in future. Combining with generative fill. This is hard. I know what I want in my head, but it's just getting the right prompt to generate it. Jungle scene. It's the right word that it generates it, kind of like a jungle forest floor. Yeah, I need it to go off into the distance without having jungle and trees. I just want the ground, essentially. What did you type? Jungle forest floor. I mean, this would be good to know, actually, for anything, because it's, you know, a lot of times I think it's a lot more fun and you get a better result generating your own scene and building it from scratch. So actually, what is the best prompt to get a floor? Closer. We're getting closer. Not quite the right angle. I'll keep generating. We'll see what we get. Two-point. Grassy field unzoomed. I'm going to try wide angle. Jungle landscape. Did I try that already? I can't remember if I did or not. Oh no, I think I tried grassy landscape. Oh, we're definitely getting closer. Wide. Okay, hang on. There we go. We'll try this. Let's give this a go. Jungle. Floor going into distance. Let's try that. Photorealistic half crab human. Jungle terrain. Grass terrain with distance. Yeah, maybe distance. That might be the key word. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's it. Grass. Okay. Let's try grass terrain. With long distance. Let's try that. Oh. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's kind of more of the perspective of what I want. Grass terrain. Okay, now let's type in jungle terrain. I think we're getting there, guys. Who said distance? Dutchy Wonders, you get a cookie. Okay, now we're up in the sky. Jungle floor terrain. You might have to build a jungle background and plain foreground separately. Oh, I know. I want the like just some ground. I can build like a lot of the other stuff, but it's just getting the right. Dirt, mud terrain. Distance A++. Windows boot image. It is, isn't it? Me num num num. Yeah, I might work from something like this. Maybe not mud. Maybe, oops. Oh, don't delete. Oh, I've deleted the prompt. Maybe we'll go with, oh, that could work. I'll do one more. I'm just going to try dirt. Maybe I should do no. Dirt and grass. Dirty grass. Foliage. Foliage. That's the word. Bushy bed. Grassy area surrounded by jungle in the distance. Okay, we'll try that as well. Let's copy that. See what this does first. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Right, we'll just try this one as well, and then I'm gonna pick one and work with that. I could always build it up. No, that's not having it, is it? Okay, so maybe we'll go back to, I think, this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this into the middle. I actually want the dirt trail to be in the middle. So I'm actually going to do this. And I'm going to crop into the image. So that's definitely in the center. And then I'm going to extend it back out by a lot. I'm going to overextend, and then I'll crop it back to the whatever the width was, 1920 possibly. It should generate that okay. Fingers crossed. There we go. Boom. So we've got that dirt trail in the center, and then I'm going to crop this to 1920 by 1080. And it crops it back in the center. So there's a nifty old trick. Right, where was it? This one. Yeah. No, not that one. This one. This is what I really, really liked. So I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna just pin that in the corner as kind of the inspiration, if you like. I really like the way that's kind of composed. Right, I might have to hide it actually because I don't want it to get captured in the selection. So, what else do we need? Well, we need some trees, don't we? So let's go and... It's not very jungly. I probably need to make it a bit greener, but let's go and add some jungle trees in distance with sunlight shining through. Boom. Let's see what that does. Oh. Excuse me. First one's not too bad. Quite like that, actually. We'll generate again. Describe the scene of a tranquil grassy area nestled deep within a dense, vibrant jungle. Consider the lush greenery, the play of sunlight, the feeling of serenity that permeates this hidden oasis. I wonder if that would actually do anything. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Right. Right. Now we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Let's add some more grass around here. And here. Jungle, grass, and foliage. Try forest settlement. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll keep that in my back pocket for a minute. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Oh, thank you all. Not this. Oh, that's quite nice, but it's a little bit. Oh no, yeah, I know what I should have done there. That wasn't a bad result. But what I should have done is I should have come over here a bit more. Just grabbed a little bit more in that selection. What did I type? Jungle, grass, and foliage. Yeah, let's try that again. Just switching out that dirt for grass. Could you ask it to combine two results? You can actually. That is something I demonstrate in the video that is coming out. Got to go again. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Hey, Quinton, thanks for joining, man. Have a good weekend. Ooh, okay. Let's try that one again. I like Kung Fu Panda House. Yeah, some of this is okay. It's not quite what I'm looking for. Hola, design amigos and amigas. Danny, welcome. We're just playing around with some AI stuff. Oh, that's quite nice. I think. I'm going to add in a jungle tree here. Just see if I can slowly build this out. It doesn't matter too much that the colors are all a bit mishmash at the minute because I can tweak that. Oh, that's quite nice. It's like a weird tree stump. Okay, let's jump ahead here and we'll see what it adds. Jungle. Oh no, what was it you typed? Forest settlement. Yeah, let's see what that does. Let's give it a go, Alok. See what we get. Right side's a bit weird on this one. Great session, says Same. Excellent. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. The right side's a bit... Okay, I've got a house. Forest. Let's try the word village. I don't know if I'm giving it enough space to work with there, with the perspective to dump a whole village there, but it might be a very small village. Maybe some raccoons live there or something. I don't know. Forest raccoons. Is that a thing? No idea. That's a bit better. Very, very small village, but a village nonetheless. I need more... Oh, hang on, what am I doing? I need more jungle trees. I love the sun coming through, but I need lots of trees. Lots of jungle trees. Welcome to the jungle. Forest temple. Ooh, that's a nice idea. Yeah, maybe we should do that actually. No, I need more trees. I don't need you to take away my trees. I need more. Right. Let's try temple. Let's try temple. That is a great suggestion. Forest temple. These tips are quite helpful as well. That's in the latest update. They've added these tips. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Let's see what we get if we do that again. Yeah, these tips are really useful. They've added that in the latest update to the beta, and some of them are things I didn't know as well. So, I mean, we could put a panda in there if people would like a panda. Oh, this is nice. These are quite nice. I mean, it still doesn't feel especially jungle, but we can keep going. We can just keep layering it up and see what we get. Oh, I like that. I quite like that one. That looks pretty cool. Kind of like a set of shrines or something. Right, I'm going to try and type here. Blurred foliage in foreground. I'm going to try and use this to add some depth. Just having something in the foreground. And we'll see what this does. Whoa. What is that? Jesus, what's going on there? Carol, get your hand out the shot. House with some blurred foliage, not your bloody hand. Mini bungalow houses. Monkeys! Yes, Sarah, we need some monkeys. Oh, that's amazing, Rudy. I'm glad you're enjoying it. What is that? Is that meant to be a car? Oh, Jonathan, get out the shot. God, what are these people like? What is that? Okay, right. Let's try grass. Surely it can... Maybe let's remove in foreground. Let's just type blurred grass. Ooh, that's nice. There we go. We've got a few. Yeah. Let's see how that looks. I need more of that, and I need more of it blurred. It's not very blurred. That's the only thing. Again, still not blurred. Ooh, okay. Random steps. I mean, I kind of like that it frames everything quite nicely. Could I just need some blurred something. Blurred grass in foreground. Yeah, see this prompt, I used this the other day and eventually I did get a really good result. I had some like long grass and it was blurred. It looked great. Out of focus grass. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I need to try that. Out of focus grass. Let's try that and then I'll try it in foreground. It is just really a case of trying to find the right prompts as well. Could you just say create jungle scene from the game Tomb Raider? I don't think it would do that. I could try it, but I don't think it would. Out of focus grass in foreground. I'm going to have to hide this one. I think it's trying to kind of work with what it's already added. So let's get rid of it. There we go. I don't know what that is. It's definitely out of focus, but I don't know what it is. Funny fact, a lot of people abroad think we South Africans live in bungalows or some form of hut. I love that. Fun African facts. Fun African facts with Rudy. Did you know that we don't just we don't live in bungalows or some form of hut? Okay. It ain't having it, is it? It's really not having it. But that's fine. We'll go back to random stairs. Yeah, let's leave that one for now. We'll go with random stairs. It kind of frames it nicely and brings everything to the center. What else can we add? I could try and add let's try and add a sleeping panda. Someone kept mentioning Kung Fu Panda. I think it was you, Sema. We'll try and add a sleeping panda by the shrines. Oh, that is cute. Oh, wow. Dilapidated stairs and distance. My goodness, that's a word. Allow flowers and bugs. Maybe a jaguar. Maybe a jaguar and a panda. They are really cute, aren't they? Oh, look at them. Oh, little panda. Cute until they maul you down. Panda is very happy. It does look like a very happy, but oh, look. Oh, panda. Look, panda loves his shrine. I don't know which one to go with. Hardest decision so far. All right. We've got 12 pandas. Which one's it going to be? I quite like that one. I do like that. I mean, I could have a whole family. Oh, we could try and do a whole family of pandas. Oh my God. Let's do this. Family of pandas and baby pandas. We're gonna go extra cute here. Cute XL, definitely. We'll get all the pandas. Pandas dancing on top of the temple. Whoa, what is that? That ain't a panda. It's like a honey badger. That is a rogue panda. You've been infiltrated, pandas. Whoa. Okay, we've got pandas' bums. They don't seem to have heads either. What is going on? They look like monkey pandas. I mean, from a distance, you couldn't really tell, could you? Panda family reunion. Sorry if I missed the chat on this already. What's the licensing on these images? Can you use whatever you create for clients, book covers, etc.? I don't know. I know Generative Fill. No, what is it? Firefly. Firefly at the moment, or last I checked, wasn't for commercial use. I don't know about Photoshop's Generative Fill. When you start using Generative Fill the first time, you will get a pop-up with some user license agreements, and it will be in there. So I would just... whoa, they look weird. From a distance, you wouldn't tell. You wouldn't be able to tell. You'd be like, it's a cute family of pandas or something. Or raccoons, honey badgers. I don't know. Let's go with single panda. But yeah, I would definitely check out the kind of license agreement, because I think it will be in there, kind of how you can use these images. Let's add some flowers. Add some flowers. Let's go around and add a few jungle flowers. We'll see what this spits out. Jungle flowers. Everything's jungle today. That is the theme now. Panda building a church besides the temple. I think you're overestimating the ability of Generative Fill. Oh, you're welcome, Sarah. We are nearly used to these AI outputs, but they are still unbelievable. Look at the light shadows at these wooden steps. Very, very futuristic stuff we are in. What's that done? Flowers. That's not flowers. There we go. That's flowers. Much better. Oh, all right. Let's do that again. I want to see what other flowers. I quite like those ones actually. They're quite sort of subtle. Jungle ferns. Ooh. A lady panda is accepting a male panda's love proposal. Jesus, careful. You get me demonetized here. Ooh, that's a weird flower. Flower? Right, let's go. Let's try ferns. I don't think ferns will be as fun as like a big colourful flower, but we'll try it anyway. And the focus is a bit off here as well. Sleeping panda's in focus. These ones are out of focus, and these ones are in focus. So the focus on this is totally off. But you know, what's that done? Has that added rocks and things in? That is not a fern. I think I'll go with that actually. It's a bit more subtle. I do kind of like this yellow flower, but the focus is just, it's just way off. Although these ones are quite cute. Oh, maybe I'll go with those. Yeah, it's fascinating turning all the different layers off and seeing how it's been constructed. What's that one there? Let's add. I mean, considering this has all been generated from absolutely nothing, I think it's pretty crazy, really. Even if I were to use this as just a basis, the inspiration, you know, I don't have to actually just use the entire thing it generates. That's interesting. It kind of creates like a nice sort of pathway. Ooh, weird, twisty thing. You know, because I can zoom in and the quality might be off, you know. The panda might be low res, so I can then drop in my own panda image that I can find on a stock site. You know, I'm sure if I zoom in, that's quite good there. Yeah, maybe one of these. Because the focus is definitely off on some bits. Yeah, like if you zoom in, you can just see a lot of it does look very murky, very muddy. Yeah, like over here, it's blurred a lot of this stuff together. Let's add some more jungle trees. Probably kind of easier actually to kind of try and get as much of it in focus and then do the focus stuff and the blurring a bit later on manually. At the Adobe's user agreement page, it says, while generative AI features are in beta, all outputted content is for personal use only and cannot be used commercially. Ah, okay, brilliant. Thanks, Floyda. That answers that one. I want tall trees. I don't want dead trees lying down. I want some big green grassy trees. This isn't feeling very well, it is jungle, but it's kind of, I need more treeage. That's not what I want. What about if I do this? I'll try to help it by drawing the tree shape. Trees. Ah, that's a little bit better. Still no leaves, but you know, they are more tree-like, so that's something. Leaves on trees. See if I can add the leaves myself. I was kind of hoping for more leaves than that, but yeah, okay, let's leave it without leaves for now. That's a bit too much of an ask by the looks of it. What else? I think I'm going to remove that one. Yeah, let's go and change this on the right hand side as well. Whoa, let's add trees. There we go. Let's go and add some trees here, see if it will actually add trees as well. I mean, one of the great things about this is even if you don't go and use this final thing, you know, as a finished product, it's great for quickly mocking up concepts, but also, you know, it lets you kind of just be really creative, get like a scene composed, and then you could go and do this properly from scratch, and you've kind of got your foundation. I guess it's like a different way of, you know, like a lot of artists will line out, they will sketch out their landscape. I don't do that. I'm not much of a drawer personally. But this kind of really sort of opens up that door to composing your scene, but in a different way. And in doing this, it kind of gets you sort of halfway to the result as well. Yeah, I kind of want some trees that are similar to those trees, but it doesn't really want to, doesn't want to give them to me, does it? Jungle trees. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's taking the lighting into account as well, which is good. Everything I'm generating is taking that light source into account, which is nice. It's just struggling with these trees here, and I think that might be because of the selection I made. Oh yeah, I think these generative features will definitely end up being an extra paid feature or something. I'd love it to be included for free, but yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that, and then we'll do one more. Tree. I've got that one in the foreground there, so I'm gonna keep that one, I think. The trees are starting to look kind of similar. And then I just want to generate a new bush. I don't really like that bush there. Bush. Let's try that. What? What is that? I don't understand how we got here. Foliage bush? That's nothing like a bush. Brazil nut tree. Oh, maybe, yeah. I tried using it to produce a reference photo of an idea I had for a painting. Let's say Photoshop generative AI didn't like polar bears. Oh, that is a much nicer bush. Yes. Oh, that is delightful. And that's look, it's done the lighting as well, which is good. Trying to do the lighting on that bush and those highlights would take a long time. That's probably more realistic, jungly, but I actually quite like this one. I don't know why. It looks like a weird, funny little bush. I want to see if I can get it to generate one over here as well. I don't know if it will. In the same style, that would be a good feature, wouldn't it? If you like a particular generation, you can get it to kind of make a variation on that or generate something similar in a different place. Oh, nearly. I might just have to accept I've got that little, that nice little bush cluster there on the right hand side. I think it was going for President Bush. Yeah, I think you're right. And it still did a terrible job at that, didn't it? Giant is like, giant pink head. We'll dump that in there. No. Yeah, I think I got lucky with this one. This one? Ooh, it feels like it's missing something. I don't know. Maybe I need another panda here. Panda walking away. Like you know, like this is Mummy Panda and Daddy Panda's come back from the hunt or something, and I'm gonna get him walking back. I don't know if that's pushing it a bit. What? Oh, it's not what I wanted. It's not. I'm gonna keep trying though. Daddy Panda's just clowning around. Yeah. Let's try Baby Panda then. Daddy's on the hunt. Daddy Panda is already on the hunt, so we'll generate a Baby Panda. I just wanted something to fill this foreground. Something that isn't rocks. I could add some rocks, but I think that's just a little bit boring. Oh, Baby Panda. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Micro Panda. Oh, looks a bit like a pig. I don't know if that's... From a distance. It's a Baby Panda. There we go. Ooh. I wonder if I could generate a puddle. That'd be nice. Scary panda. Panda hunting. No. That's a really unrealistic looking puddle. That's better. And it's not generating the reflections, but that's actually quite easy to do. So I could actually put the pandas in the reflection if I wanted to quite easily. Just mask them out, flip them upside down, and then blending mode them in. That's better. And, you know, those three things could sort of be the statue, maybe. I like that one. That's a good puddle. That's a good puddle. That's a good puddle. Daniel White. That's my quote of the day. I like that puddle. Panda, pandas, and puddles. There we go. Just in case. Because if anything goes wrong and this crashes, we lose this masterpiece. Masterpiece. Oh, I feel like it's missing something. Let's add a tree lizard. I'm going to have to go in a minute, but I'm having a lot of fun here. Can it generate drawings or just real things? I think it can generate stylized things, but I can't remember how you do it. There might be a certain way to ask it. Or it might be a case of just saying in that style. So tree lizard in the style of a sketch or something. But I'm not entirely sure. Someone definitely explained it and I read it somewhere once, but I can't remember what they put. All right, generating a few lizards. That's the one, much more realistic. And I want to generate some more foliage over here. Oh, this is so fun. This is a lot of fun, I gotta be honest. No, I need bush foliage. Right. I'm getting mad now. Right. Come on, Photoshop. I want grassy, bushy, leafy foliage. I've got a nice big glowing bush over here, and I want more bushes over here. It's that simple. Gives me logs. No, Dan, you want bushes, but you're getting logs, so you're going to have to deal with it, Ginger. Please, I need the prompt for a nice bush. A nice leafy bush with lots of lovely, delicious highlights. I don't want logs. I don't want logs, Photoshop. Bushes, not logs. Add a sloth. Oh, man. Also, totally random, not related to anything. Is anyone playing Armored Core 6 tonight when it comes out? Just gonna throw that out there. Probably no one, probably just me, but I'm pretty excited, so I just thought I'd see if anyone else is doing it. Oh man, it just wants me to have logs, doesn't it? Grass. I don't want logs, Photoshop. This is so fun. Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun as well. I love these streams. Like, it's great making videos and stuff, but obviously the process of making videos is just very much me recording my screen and talking to a camera lens into a mic. So these streams are kind of a nice fun chance for me to get to hang out with you guys, and you can ask questions and we can just sort of, hang out and design things and critique stuff. So, I love doing these streams. They are the highlight of my week. They're really cool. And it's always good fun. We always have a laugh. I've never played one, but I'll definitely be checking out some streams of AC6. No, neither have I. I've never played it. I'm a Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring fan through and through. Absolutely love their games. Everyone they put out is a banger. But Armored Core, the only time I've played an Armored Core was when I was about 8 years old. And that was like, you remember when you used to get demo discs on like the front of a PlayStation magazine? I think I played a demo of Armored Core on a PS1 back in the day. And it was fine. You had like a couple of guns and mechs and you could fly around and shoot things. But apart from that, never played one before. From Software did Armored Core, aren't those the Dark Souls guys? Yes, it's the same people. They did Armored Core long before they were known for Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Try bushes with yellow highlight. Okay, that's a good shout. I'm clearly not getting anywhere, am I? Bushes with I'm going to put highlight from sun, just so it doesn't kind of give me bright yellow. It actually relates to the sun. My favorite FromSoft game is actually Sekiro. Oh, I'm replaying that at the moment. I'm literally in the middle of replaying that. I played Sekiro when it first came out, and I thought it was amazing. But I just sped through it, finished it in a few days, and then just never picked it up again. And picking it up again now, after playing, your Dark Souls 3s and your Elden Rings and all that stuff, whatever, playing that over and over again, and then going back to Sekiro, like the combat, like the sword fighting combat is amazing. I honestly forgot how good it is. Hey Dan, thanks for the lengthy review and rework of my Ignition Gym logo. Kyle, excellent. Love the feedback and suggestions from you in the community. Oh wow, hopefully that was helpful. That was good fun working on that one. Good fun. I love it when people send me AI files because then or PSDs, because then I can open them up and then I get to have a play with them. Yeah, the combat is so good, isn't it? So good. But yeah, I'm curious to see what Armored Core is going to be like. I've always said that that's quite a nice bush, actually. Bit blurry, but I want more of that. I've always said I want FromSoft to make a sci-fi game, I didn't know back then that they did Armored Core, but I love their kind of like fantasy RPG games, but like I've always wanted to see them turn their hand to sci-fi and machine guns and things. So I will be staying up till midnight tonight to play that, rest assured. This it's got people in the background there. We've got some tourists that have gotten lost. They've stumbled upon the panda shrine, and they will shortly become panda food. So I'm getting more foliage, but a lot of it is out of focus, which is kind of annoying. But so here's my ninja village I just generated, sending to your Dropbox. I don't think you'll be able to send it to the Dropbox, Alok, because I think that link is not working anymore. But, you know, fire it over to there, and we'll whip it up and have a look. Been stuck developing a game, but soon as I'm done, I'll be playing Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring. If you've not played that, you are in for a treat, my friend. Me and my brother, literally, no joke, it took us 200 hours playing that game together to roll credits. I've never spent 200 hours, not even 100 hours in a game before I rolled credits. And yeah, so by the time we finished that, it felt like we'd been on this sort of journey together. How long will you stream? I've actually got to go soon. I need to go home and, like, you know, look at my kids and show them some kind of affection. Right, that's not too bad. That's what I wanted. Finally, I got there. It just took generating it over and over. It was just too, like, flat, boring floor, and I just wanted a bit more jungle foliage. Right. I got there. I kind of want some rocks here as well. I don't like that twig, so I'm just going to put small rocks and see if I can generate that. I'm also going to open up my inbox. I'm going to look out for your graphic, Alok. Doesn't look that realistic. I know we've thrown around quite a few ideas for competitions, but one that I had recently that I thought might be quite interesting was, would you guys be up for a competition? And I'm trying to think if this would work or if this wouldn't actually work. I had the idea for a competition to basically keep it exclusively to generative AI. So literally your entry has to only use generative AI. So you see all these layers here. All of these layers are generative layers. So that's fine. They're cool. No fancy retouching or anything. You just have to create something only using generative AI. And I think that there's quite a sort of, and maybe we could have a theme or a topic as well, just to kind of keep it more focused. But that would be quite a nice challenge, because I like to add all the retouching and things. So you have to get your final result without any retouching. Just the AI stuff. That sounds hilarious. Yeah, it would be cool, but it'd be a really good challenge as well, I think. But I'm just trying to like, is there anything I'm overlooking that would cause a problem? Or, like, obviously every entry people would have to submit a screenshot of all their layers just so you know it's legit. Do you know what I mean? Just so people aren't being sneaky and kind of, oh, that's a, actually no. Just so no one's being sneaky and doing a bit of retouching to give themselves an advantage. So you'd have to kind of, along with your entry, you'd have to prove that it's only done using generative layers. Maybe put a minimum layers required on it so people don't just AI the entire scene at once. That's a good point. That is a very good point. I'm going to make a note of that. But I feel like that would be a really good way to generate a lot of interesting results as well. Right, put a minimum number of layers on so people don't just generate the entire scene. Yeah, maybe a maximum as well. Or would that limit the creativity a little bit, having a maximum? That might be a bit annoying, having a max. I don't know. What do you think? That's a good way to improve the skill of generative AI in the future. Yeah, maybe. AI jam. I like it. I'm gonna make a note of that. AI jam. Maybe a maximum. Yeah, I don't know. That might be a bit no max. Okay, yeah. That's no maximum. That is a bit limiting, isn't it? Because I think if there's no maximum, you know, you might get someone who adds 50 AI layers and creates an absolute masterpiece. That's a nice rock. I like that. I'm going to add another one here. Just mailed it. Okay, so a Luke, Unlock, Ninja Village. Ooh. Let's open this up and have a look. Oh, I've got to request access. So I've just sent you a request, Alok, for access. So if you can give that the old thumbs up, and then I'll have a look. Hello. Welcome to the stream, Holy Power. We are doing... That is not a rock. What's going on? We're doing Jungle Panda temple scene with sunlight. I need to go home. I get so into this. That's why is it generating that? There's some things that it just, I think words that it struggles with, it's just infuriating. It's kind of like, come on, like that's not a rock, and generating a purple head does not count as bush. This gives me Kung Fu Panda vibes. Well, I think that's what Sema was saying. I think Sema was the driver of the kind of the panda in the scene narrative. So, you know, I think, yeah, you can thank Sema for that. Looking good so far. Stepped away 15 minutes. Welcome back. This is where we've ended up. I'm not sure entirely where we were when you left, Melissa, but we've added more foliage, some puddles, rocks. Got a nice bush over here, and baby panda that looks like a weird pig or something. So, yeah, I'm not going to obsess over those rocks too much. They look kind of similar. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, you can see what I mean. The focus, if I zoom in a little bit, the quality is pretty poor. The bush is okay. The bush has turned out quite nice. That's in focus. The puddle's not too bad. We could try and sharpen it up between X and Y number of layers. Oh, so Alok, you think having a set number of layers? I mean, we could have a maximum like 50. You know, do you know what I mean? Like we could have a high maximum. You had finally found a good ground. Oh, Melissa, it took so long. Yeah, so was I at the ground when you went? Yeah, I found. Hang on, let's delete everything I'm not using. A lot of this is redundant now. Leaves on tree. No, we don't need that. Cool. Yeah, so that's where we started off. And this is where we've got to. Which is kind of insane, actually. Oh, wait, leaves on tree. We definitely don't want that. Oh, no, I've got rid of my lizard. I had a lizard on the tree and it's gone. Oh, never mind. Right, let's just see if I can camera raw filter this bad boy just to finish this up. This has had no retouching as well, so you know I would probably go through and retouch this to finish it up. And a lot of the out of focus bits I would need to add in some high res stock imagery foliage, definitely, because they look a bit rubbish. But what I would probably do actually is I would take this as inspiration and then kind of drop in like a really high quality scene with the kind of ground and the trees and the foliage at the angle I like. That's probably what I would do, is I would try and find a jungle photo like this with a few trees, some bits I like. Instead of starting with a blank canvas, I would start with that high res photo and then build on that. That's probably how I would do it, I think. Because then at least the basis, the core of your image is a super high-res photo. And when you're retouching in little bits here and there, even if it is a lower resolution, the AI-generated stuff, it's still going to be you know, it'll be a lot less noticeable. Whereas generating everything with AI, you know, there's a lot of issues with the focus here. So you can see I could sharpen this up for sure. Tweak this here. Ooh, we could actually go and turn the yellow into a bit more green. Make this scene a little bit more jungle-esque, perhaps. Calibration down here. Oh, careful down. I think I'm getting a bit carried away now. I might have actually inadvertently made that a bit worse. Yeah, let's reset that back to 0. Sharpening it up helps though. That's definitely made a difference. A real difference. This bit over here is pretty shoddy, but that bush is looking pretty sharp. Nice looking bush. I do love a good camera raw filter. And it's a quick and easy way to do some nifty color correction as well. Rather let people have unrestricted creativity, yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's a creative contest, otherwise the limit would make sense. I think the thing is, as long as people, I mean, to me, as long as people can prove, whether it's with a screenshot or a video on their phone, like is that a fair expectation that if you upload your post, your entry, you also have to upload just a video of you kind of showing the layers, just basically proof that everything is done with generative? Is that like a fair request, do you think? I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible because I just don't want people to submit a really cool entry but then forget to submit proof that it's all done with generative AI. Just send the PSD to you. Yeah, okay, there you go. That's it. That's a great idea. Whoop. That's a great idea. That's a really good point. Yes, the entry actually could literally just go to Dropbox. Dutchie, you're a genius. Absolute genius. Well done. You've just solved the entire problem. Because to me, I don't care if somebody uses 100 layers in their creation. And I think that is the point, is to see how far you can really push it, just keeping it generative. So yeah, maybe we have a minimum. Happy to help. Cute pandas are lucky that reflection remained. Yeah, I would need to go and add the pandas into that reflection. What's the time frame going to be? What have I done in the past? I've not done a competition for a while. I think before I've done it a month, and other times I've done it 2 weeks. I think a month. I think a month is probably a good shout for a competition. What do you think? That's probably not a bad shout, because then on some of these streams we can jump in and check how, like, entries. It gives people more. I know people everyone's got busy lives. We've all got like families and kids and work and stuff going on. So it takes the pressure off people making an entry, but also on the streams we can kind of check in and see some of the entries, which I think would be quite fun. Yeah, I think a month. I think what I might do is throw this out on a community post on the channel later on and gather some more opinions on it. But yes, so far on my notes, I've put a minimum number on the layers. So I don't know, 5 or 10 or something like that. Maybe 10. No maximum. Upload the PSD file as proof directly. And yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool, actually. Maybe we could have an Instagram hashtag as well, so people could upload their design to Instagram. But then to actually enter the competition, you have to submit it through a Dropbox link, so your PSD's there. I do have Discord, but I don't really use it. Because it's quite nice when we have a competition on Instagram, you can just search by a hashtag and then you can always see kind of everyone's entries, you know? Oh yeah, Alok, you sent me a design, didn't you? Dansky. Have I got access? I have access. Right, let's download this file. 161 meg. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, I think that would be a really fun one, actually. It'd be a nice way to kind of push the AI to its limits as well and see what we can come up with. Yeah, that's the thing. Having it on Instagram as well, it means that, you know, that if we have a hashtag, everyone can see everyone's work at any time, which would be which is always fun to do, I think, in those competitions. Okay, here we go. This is from Alok. In fact, this is cool actually, because Alok has just sent me an entirely generative PSD file, so I can open this up and I can see. Oh, so you got that from Jungle Landscape. That's closer to what I was trying to get at the beginning. God, it took me forever to get that. Ninja Village, Samurai Training, nice. Samurai in Armor. Water Creek. Oh, it's just mad. Logs. Old Tree. Oh, see, I would have loved that in my one. Maybe I should try that. Wooden Bucket. Dansky face. That is definitely not Dansky face. That is nightmare fuel. And that looks like a lady. And I am definitely not a lady. Not last time I checked, anyway. Ferns. Got some ferns as well. Wow, that's so cool. That's crazy, that is. Oh, this is going to be fun. Excellent. Thank you for that, Locke. That is awesome. Melissa, are you laughing at Dansky face? Still going. Yes, I know, Mike. I need to go and actually see my children, and I need to do that right now because it's late. How long have we been streaming for? Oh yeah, nearly. Oh my goodness, over 2 hours now. Whew, I need a drink. It didn't get my face. I'm not that famous enough to have AI generate my ginger mug, but you know. Oh wow. Hey, it's been fun, guys. It's been amazing. What day is it today? Thursday, isn't it? I think in my head it's Friday, but it's not. It's Thursday. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you to everyone for your contributions. We got there with panda puddles and temples and lovely bushes, and I'll see you again next Tuesday for design review. Let me just check my calendar. Yeah, as you can see, I've blocked out lots of Armored Core 6 time. Tuesday. Yep. Look at children. Oh, you're a clown, Dan. Got no spontaneous haircuts. Right, cool. Have a fantastic week and weekend, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Cheers, guys.